just really not the time.
Well, if Danny, if she insists on going through with it, you can use my idea, which is a good idea, of having a mask. I think it's a good idea with having a mask with your logo, so she can do those. They can have that idea. I'm sure.
Okay.
Nobody's thought of it before.
Just reminding everybody, it's the marriage that counts and not the wedding.
Thank you, Jan. Somebody need to put that in perspective. Thank you, man.
And that's why I eloped. And why am I so big on the screen? Oh gosh, here we go.
Did Justin mute himself?
No, I like to get everything ready ahead of time so that I don't do it 15 minutes late again. But I was just thinking that I have another computer here, which is what you see as the host computer, just so that I can spread some tasks around. Well, once I did that, then I realized that both of my computers have 2 different times. And so I wasn't sure which time to believe for things. But it looks like Sprint and one of the computers say 12:15. So good noontime and welcome to Rotary, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Jan, would you care to bring us to order today?
I did. Let's pray. Gracious Lord, we do give you thanks. We give you thanks for all that you provide, and we give you thanks for knowing that you are with us even when things are changing around us, that you are the firm foundation underneath our feet. So Lord, help us as we continue to go forward, and help us as we continue to look for ways to serve. Thank you for Susan and Hector who are serving in Dar y Servir. And Lord, as we learn about giving and serving, may we be blessed in that. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. And Dolores, would you mind leading us in pledge today?
No problem. Okay, pledge allegiance to the flag.
I did.
And
The United States of America.
to America. And I haven't said it in so long, I've actually forgotten it. I'm embarrassed. Somebody else jump in, sorry.
And to the republic for which it stands,
Which we stand.
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay,
Amen.
sorry. There's some real interference coming. I don't know. I didn't even hear any of that.
You did great. Thanks so much.
Okay.
Pep, are you able to lead us in song today?
And while you're doing that, I'm going to it's no land and sea. From north to south, from east to west, must serve the best. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary.
Thanks so much. Wonderful. Thanks. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see. I don't think we have. Oh, we do have one visiting Rotarian with us. Dr. Cynthia Alvarado Stinson is here from our Sunrise neighbors. Hello, Cynthia.
Hello.
And let's see, we have a couple. Let Janine in. We do have a guest, Susan, that we will get to in just 1 minute. She is our speaker today, and I'm scanning the crowd to see if I forgot anybody, and I think that's everyone here. Okay. We don't have any birthdays this week, but worry not, we'll have some coming up soon. I don't think we have any wedding anniversaries today, so we're a lot of wedding talk this morning, so none more today. We also don't have any Rotary anniversaries, so we can save all of our cake and ice cream for another day. Do we have any happy dollar announcements today? Jay Dean, please go ahead.
I just got this in from the email. I don't want to steal Charles, our foundation director's thunder, but I did want to make sure everybody knew. Holger Knacht, our Rotary International president, sent out an email that says, African region certified wild polio free. And he announces that, it takes 3 years for no wild polio cases before it is certified. And so, and that just came out. And I'll let Charles talk about that more, but good news there.
Thank you, Jay Dean. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Nigeria was the last country that was the holdout on the continent. And so
Northeastern, yes, sir.
Okay, and so that one got knocked out. And so now, unless anything has changed since I last read it, the only 2 countries left on the planet where we still have active wild polio are in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And I know that current events have kind of knocked those efforts back a little bit, but just so you know, some of these areas where the Rotary and other volunteers are going into are some areas where those countries' governments don't even go. So we're making some headway. So thank you, Jay Dean, for that. Do we have any more happy dollar announcements today? Okay, if you think of anything later on, let us know. We do have some more announcements. We have Rotary Leadership Institute is continuing. We began a part 1 this past week, and we'll be continuing on through that. We have another offering of part 1 coming up here in September, and this is particularly important to any directors and officers that have not yet completed an RLI part 1. So that we can reach our goal of a 100% RLI board. So if you need some more information on that, please get with me. And here is the link to register and find more information for those events there at LoneStarRLI.com. Oops. And just to let you know, Lone Star RLI, that is the division that we are running our Rotary Leadership Institute programs through right now, which, as you can guess, is most of the state of Texas. It's pretty neat because we have folks coming in from not only around the district and around the state, around our zone, which goes clean up to Ontario. We also have folks coming in from around the country on both sides of us, different time zones. We even have students from other continents. And this coming faculty training, we're going to have folks from Australia and India. And so it's pretty neat stuff. Okie dokie. So today, without further ado, we have with us Susan, let me unmute you there. We have Susan Moreira from Monterrey. She is an administrator for the Dar y Servir School, and she is here with us today to give us some updates on what they've been up to. And so, Susan, I will let you take it away. And Susan, you're still muted. You might need to unmute yourself there.
Am I unmuted now?
There we go.
Hey,
Yeah.
I had to click here too. First of all, thank you for inviting me today. And thank you for inviting me last week. I really enjoyed the talk. And I really found you as a group to be so full of energy and commitment. So I am thrilled to be here with you today. If I'm going into the thanks, I guess I should also say, thank you very much for supporting us. The Rotary Club has been supporting Dar y Servir for years and years now, I think since 2013. And we really appreciate that. And you are truly making a difference. Now, I went and was able to visit you in pre-COVID times. That was last November. It seems like an age ago, but that unfortunately is no longer possible. But so as not to be bored by me again, I decided this time the best thing to present our program would be to have one of our board members present it, and then I have 3 of the students who have given me videos in English, which I'm just blown away by, and they will present themselves to you, and they will be able to thank you. So, firstly, we have Beth, who is a member of our board. Prior to COVID, it seems like life is now divided into prior to COVID and post-COVID. So prior to COVID, Beth was giving the most amazing motivational talks to our students every semester. That came to an end this semester. Beth is the director of a school system. She now has 3 schools. And she joined our board because her mother, who founded the school system, had been on the board but got sick. So Beth took over Mother's place, and she has been a wonderful and supportive member of the board. So she will present the program here. Justin, if you could put Beth into action.
All right, and let me know if you can hear audio here.
Hello, good afternoon to all of you, members of the Rotary Club in Kingsville, Texas. My name is Beth Huergo, and Susan Moreira has asked me to spend a couple of minutes sharing with you information about our association, Dar y Servir, our program, and the long-lasting relationship we have had with you, the Rotary Club of Kingsville. Dar y Servir, which means to give and to serve,
Can you hear her at all?
began about 40 years ago.
No, not really, Justin. And if you give me access and I play it, because I have the same video here on the screen.
You're certainly welcome to. Hold on a second. It's funny because it was working. So let me make you a co-host and take it away.
Share screen.
Hello, good afternoon to all of you, members of the Rotary Club in Kingsville, Texas. My name is Beth Huergo, and Susan Moreira has asked me to spend a couple of minutes sharing with you information about our association, Dar y Servir, our program, and the long-lasting relationship we have had with you, the Rotary Club of Kingsville. Dar y Servir, which means to give and to serve, began about 40 years ago. And it is headed by Susan and Hector Moreira, as well as Tani Duke. And they have done this for over 30 years. From my perspective, as a relative newbie in this association, this really speaks about the total commitment from our leaders. As an association, our aim has always been to collaborate with other similar-minded associations to drive the education of underprivileged children in Monterrey, Mexico. In particular, we have sought to locate potential candidates from diverse areas in our city, areas that are dangerous and fraught with violence from warring drug gangs. Through these years, and thanks to the generous contributions from our partners, such as the Rotary Club, we have been able to support more than 200 students in their educational endeavors. Dar y Servir members are all volunteers. This assures our patrons that every penny donated goes directly to the students. Our selection process, it begins with referrals from different associations and churches with which we partner locally. Students must then fill an application form and submit the corresponding paperwork. Through a personal interview with them, we find out about their motivation for studying, what it is they want to study, and their goals moving forward, as well as why they think they should be a recipient of a scholarship. We also review their grades to date. We seek that they have an 8.5 out of 10-point GPA, and that they seek to improve it, that they have a commitment to improve this GPA. In addition, we do an analysis of their home and economic situations. We ask about their family members, where they live, even a layout of their house, who works in the household, who supports the home, and many things of this nature. This gives us a clearer picture of their day-to-day living situations and conditions. Those candidates that are the most promising are then selected to receive a semester scholarship. Of course, this scholarship can be renewed the following semester, as long as they maintain their academic average and provide us with the records of their academic performance, as well as receipts of all their educational related expenses. For the last couple of years, we've instituted a motivational award ceremony in which all students are first given a motivational talk, followed by recognition for those who have done very well, where we extend them a certificate as well as a cash prize. As well, thanks to the additional support that we have received from Rotary Club members Alo Sanchez in 2018 and J.D. Craig and Steve Bain in 2019, we have given a computer to the student who most needed it. We're so thankful for the support that we have received from you, the Kingsville Rotarians, every year since 2013. Plus, of course, personal donations that we've received, as those previously mentioned, as well as from Richard Hartwig. You know, a few years ago, several of your members visited us in Monterrey. Richard Hartwig, Linda Han, Alo Sanchez, and Stephen Nix. You validated our work in furthering the education of underprivileged students. We were pleased to have you and would love for you to come again when travel restrictions to and from Mexico are eased. And of course, at different times, Hector and Susan and Tappy, they've all visited and addressed your group with updates of our work and the students who have benefited from your contributions. The unwavering commitment of you, the Kingsville Rotarians, to Dar y Servir motivates us to continue this worthwhile cause, which is now more important than ever. As you know, the COVID pandemic has impacted all of the countries in the world and has particularly accentuated the digital divide among different sectors of the population. Those without computers and access to the internet will suffer greater setbacks than those who do not have the tools and means to learn online. We're so appreciative of the support received from the Kingsville Rotarians. We just want you to know that through these years, you have supported students that have pursued their studies in many different areas: nursing, education, physical therapy, social work, chemistry, law, business administration, marketing, accounting, international business, graphic design, communication, and journalism. Pretty impressive, isn't it? And some of our students have truly escalated beyond our dreams, learning English and obtaining master's degrees. They are now leading successful professional lives in important companies locally, nationally, and even internationally. This is thanks to you and to the volunteers in our association. No doubt that the Kingsville Rotarians are fulfilling the outstanding mission of the Rotary Club, that is, to serve others. You are proof of disinterested support of others. As we are faced with the many uncertainties we have today, and we will face in the post-COVID world, we are very, very certain of one thing. With your continued generous support, both Dar y Servir and the Kingsville Rotarians will continue to make a difference in the lives of many students now and in the future. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Beth. She really is a wonderful member of our board. Now, I think the ones who should be presenting the program are actually the students. So I asked them to prepare a little video for you of the group we have. 3 of them, so many tried in English, and I noticed the way they did it is they put it into Google Translate or something similar, printed it out, and tried to say it. I, who am used to both languages, could not understand most of them, but they truly tried, which is amazing. But I have selected 3 where I hope and trust you will be able to hear and understand. So I'm going to let them talk about themselves, and you will see these kids come from really, really poor backgrounds. On one of them, on Fermin, who was the first one, he took the video obviously facing his front door. So you will see the front door of his house, and I think that speaks for itself. So without more ado, I'm going to present Fermin. Fermin has been with us since 2014. He lives in one of the most conflictive areas of the city. His mother outside the house was shot by a stray bullet from warring narco bands. And he won a scholarship to a private university here, the UR. That is really very expensive, but he got a 90% scholarship. He would not have been able to go if it weren't for us, because what we give him supplies the other 10%. So, and he's in his final semester. He will be graduating into the COVID world, I assume, in December. So let's see Fermin. Now, here we go. It's Fermin.
Hi, I'm Fermin Ortiz. First of all, I'd like to say I hope every one of you is in a good state of health. These have been really hard times, but I know everything is going to get better soon. Meanwhile, the best thing to do is keeping the cautions needed. Now, talking about academic themes, I have to adapt to the new conditions for the university. I learned to manage better my time between my online classes, the academic projects, and everything to do at the university. I have to say I was a little worried about keeping my 19% scholarship at the University of Montana, but I did it, and I'm so happy because all my 43 years have worked. This month I present my dissertation, kind of thesis but less difficult, and as a part of the project I have the opportunity to work in the branding for La Familia, a small Italian restaurant here in Monterrey, and I'm so satisfied with the results. The brand still doesn't start to use my proposal, but I hope it does soon. Despite these years having been a real mess, I'm really thankful for now being a step closer to finish the university and get my degree this December. Lastly, I want to thank you for all your support to us, because I'm sure every scholar at Dar y Servir has given their best as I do to keeping the scholarship. Thank you so much.
That was Fermin. I forgot to tell you that he's studying digital graphic design, which if you understood it, I don't know. I hope you did. He's been doing the branding for a restaurant. He is a great kid and really so proud of himself, which is what you need in this world. I have another student now. This is Katia. Katia's studying law. She's been with us since 2013. She's in the state university here. Most of them are. Actually, Fermin's the first one who's been in a private university. So now I'm going to pass you over to Katia, and she will tell you about herself. She's got you.
Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I am Katia Garcia. I'm from Juárez, Nuevo León, Mexico. I am 22 years old and live with my parents and younger brother. My father is a laborer. My mother does housework, and my younger brother is a high school student. I'm studying law, 1 year away from graduating. I'm very happy. It's a very important profession where people put in our hands things as important as their freedom or patrimony. This year, it has been very difficult for everyone. I had plans to get a job or be an intern in an office, but it could not be carried out because of the contingency, because many things were limited. I hope you and your family are in good health. Finally, I want to thank you the support you have given me throughout my university career, which has been very helpful since I have been able to buy everything I need for my studies. I hope one day to have the pleasure of meeting you in person. Thank you.
Okay. Now, they are amazing kids. Huh? And I have one more for you. Okay. Now we have Daniela. She's in 5th semester of international business. She's been with us since 2017. Essentially since her last year of high school. She is another too. Oh, where's she gone? Here she is.
Hi, my name is Daniela Presas. I'm 19 years old. I'm studying international business. I'm in the 5th semester of 10. I'm studying French also. I'm in level 3 of 5. In the future, I still don't know in which area I want to work, but I'm really interested in logistics or becoming a customs officer or customs agent. I'm hoping that next semester I will do my professional practices to have some experience before I graduate. So that's a little bit about me and my studies, but I just really wanted to say thank you for all your help and support. It was really important to us, especially in these times due to the economic situation that we are living right now in the country. A lot of people have lost their jobs and their families are just living on their time. My family is going through a rough time too, but thanks to you, I can continue my studies right now. And yeah, I'm so grateful for the support and help that you're showing us. I just really hope that it would be a lot of people like you that have a green card all over the world. And I really hope that in the future I will return the help that you're giving to you, or maybe it's someone else that needs to. And I promise to you that the help and support that you give, it will totally be worth it. So thank you so much for all that you've done for us.
Well, that made it easier for me because other people did my job. Those are just 3 of our amazing students. Just as a final sort of round off, part of our operations has always been to get close to the students, to talk to the students, to find out what they're thinking, to try and guide them somewhat in their studies. But with the COVID pandemic, we did not have one-on-one interviews, obviously. So since everything was done online, the actual personal contact was missing. But I was very proud of them all to see that they were all able to send their receipts, their grades, answer any questions online. So we were able to keep the program going. When we handed out the money, they don't have bank accounts, so we can't do bank transfers. It has to be like physically done. So my husband and I went in the car and I told them to hold up their names on a paper. And I made a small gap in the window and I pushed the envelope through the window. And actually Fermin, the one who's in graphic design, I was amazed that then he held up a paper that said, thank you. But we weren't able to hand out the money without any contact. Several of the students finished their studies last year. I had to give one girl, I had to ask her to leave for 1 semester because she'd failed 2 courses and we cannot allow them to fail. So we have fewer students this semester. We only actually have 11. But hopefully when we have a chance to go back and talk to them and interview them, we can grow the number of our students. But whatever, the ones that we have now are all doing a brilliant job. They send me things in PDF. They're obviously better equipped for operating the digital world than I am. So I'm just thrilled for them, for us, and for all of your help. This is possible because of the help of people like you. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to go on. But I think we're doing a great job between us all. If anybody has any questions, I am here and available, if I can answer them.
So Susan, we have one question that came in already, and don't forget you can submit those through the chat box. We have one that says, what issues do the students have with studying when they return home in the evenings?
Well, they have issues with all kinds of things. Firstly, they are all currently studying online. None of the schools here is actually physically operating, so they're online. Now, this in itself is a major issue for them. I mean, we just take it for granted that any kid in school has a computer of their own, internet access. I mean, those are a cell phone, anything they require. One of our kids was telling us that they have a computer between about 6 of them, kids who are relatives studying. So they make a schedule as to when they're entitled to use the computer. And some of them are studying like from 2 till 5 in the morning so that they all can get a chance. So they have very difficult problems. When we gave out the computers that you so kindly provided, we based it mainly on their need and not so much on their grades. So I intrinsically always like to give those who get the best grades the prizes. But that may not be necessary. So it was Allo who suggested that instead of that, we ask them how their computer situation is. So we have given it to the ones who are most in need. So we gave out 3 computers from the Rotary Club to kids who did not have computers. Most of them have computers. I mean, I think computation, that's it. Computers are is their #1 problem. The other thing is, like, I can't even imagine what it's like studying in the house when you may have 12 people living in a 2-bedroomed house. I mean, if I study, I need quiet and a special place. They must study with kids around and requiring to do things to support the house. So yes, they really have a hard time. But I think the lesson of Fermin, who is really a star student because he has come from such a difficult background, is that those who are really determined to do it will do so. And those are the ones we're trying to support. I would like to say that all the ones we have at the moment, be they 11, all of them are truly committed and all of them are getting really good grades. But the problems they have are like out of our conception. For instance, Fermin lives at the top of a mountain. When his mother was shot, they had to physically carry her right the way down to the bottom so the ambulance could pick her up. So these are kids living in conditions that we really don't know about, if that answers the question.
Now, Susan, how do these students find you? How do they find the school, Dar y Servir? How do they, so they're going through high school and all that. How do they get in contact with you in the beginning at all?
We do it through other associations. So for instance, in the area where Fermin is, there's a charity called Funde Fam that gives them talks on life and gives them skills that they don't have. So we're in contact with them and they recommend to us. We do require a recommendation. Where we interviewed before is in, as someone was talking about, in an area where the police do not go. It's an area that is in the hands of the narcos. We operate with a foundation called CAVIDA, Calidad de Vida, Quality of Life, which also offers them like social facilities and talks and things. And they really know well, that's connected to the Catholic Church, and they have their churches there, they know the kids well, so they send them to us. We have another one called Caritas, which is, I don't actually know who runs Caritas, but again, they send us the kids. So it's important that we know that they're in real need, because we need someone to say this, because personally I am not going to go around these areas checking the houses and checking, so we need someone else who can back up what they put. So if they, like we asked them about the house, so if they say our house has 2 bedrooms and there's 12 members of the family, I don't want to go and check that. I'm sorry, there's a limit to what I will do, but the people around that we are in contact with know that it's true. So it's largely by word of mouth.
And so you said that you had to go, physically to the houses and crack a window and, give them their scholarship money.
No, we parked in the road and they came down to us.
Okay.
And we parked in front of where we usually interview. Oh no, we didn't go one by one. Actually, one of them had a check bounce. We give them a check that they can go, because they said the signature wasn't right. So we had to go back the next week. But it worked well. Like the system of holding up papers and putting it through the window. My husband and I are quite neurotic, I think, largely because of our age. So, but it worked well, and we were able to do it.
And so I guess the question is, have you had any trouble, because some of these students are in areas where the police don't go and they're under control of the narcos. Have you had any trouble with, giving them the money that they need and it falling into the wrong hands, or any of those kinds of troubles?
No, we always give them a check made out to their name and handed into their hands. Like there's no intermediary. Actually, I always hand out the checks because I'm obsessive compulsive about doing things and won't let anybody else. So I physically give each kid a check and they immediately go to the bank, but immediately to cash the checks. All they need is an ID and they can just cash them. So they have cash in their hands. Well, as far as I know, it works fine. Like, I don't know what happens to the cash thereafter, but they're continuing their studies, so I assume they're using it.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you, Susan. I'm sure we have some more questions, but we want to get to the end of our program things. And if anybody still has questions, if you want to hang out for a little bit after the meeting, then Susan, would you mind answering some of those questions at that time?
Absolutely not. Here I am.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for that. So we do have a few upcoming things on our near horizon. This Friday is, I believe, the second installment of the Together for Peace lecture series. There is a link to that lecture series in your bulletin, as well as the club website. And so that is Fridays at 4 p.m. Next Tuesday, we'll have our District Governor, Eddie Bartnetsky, joining us for our noon meeting. And board members, he will also be joining us for a board gathering, a board meeting that afternoon. That will not count as our regular monthly board meeting. That will happen on the first Monday, which is September 7, where we'll do our actual board things. We have Zone Institute training coming up here in a couple of weeks. It's similar to Rotary Multi-District Training Institute, but where in the past it has been relegated to district leadership and above. Now, because we're on Zoom and there is no fee, it is open and encouraged for everyone. And so there is more information on that on our website and the district website. And I can send another email out with some info on that. But there are trainings on engaging membership, trainings on public image, trainings on foundation, all those kinds of things. And so good information there. We will soon, 2 weeks, have another installation of our Rotary After Dark. And there are talks that we might be able to do this in person. We're working out some of those kinks, but look for more information on that. We're also taking suggestions. And the week after that begins our Rotary Multi-District International Project Fair. We participated in that last year with our Nepal project, and we will be participating in that again. Does anybody else have anything for the good of Rotary today? Okie dokie. So it is time for our weekly Paul Harris drawing. Remember, these are pulled from the past week's pairings, and so it pays to play. We had 3 pairs this week, so let's see who we have. And if we'll get a countdown, please. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pair 3, Jan and Ruth. All right, congratulations, Jan and Ruth. You have been entered into our quarterly Paul Harris drawing. Remember, there's always a new week and a new pairing around, so look for this week's pair to be entered into next week's drawing. And so if you will now, please join me in the 4-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you and adios. And if you still would like to ask some questions of Susan, she's still here and we'd be happy to participate with that. Mark, I see that you're wiggling your fingers. Do you have a question for Susan?
Hi, Mark.
Mark, you're still on mute.
How do I get off of mute?
You've gotten off of mute. Go ahead.
Okay. Susan, yeah, it's been a long time since I've been involved, but I know back in the days we used to go over there about every year to Monterrey, and one thing or another, we had a senior center, I remember. And of course, Dar y Servir, and I think Richard may be listening too. I see him, he doesn't have his picture up, but he may have a question also. But I just wanted to say that it was a pleasure, and I was in charge of international programs, and there wasn't anything more rewarding or pleasing to the heart and soul than to get over there and be with you. And we've enjoyed your visits here too, as you come through in your work in the United States. And of course, right now we don't have any way to travel, let alone to visit you over in Monterrey. So thank you for coming, and we've enjoyed it, and we continue to look forward to your presence with us whenever you can.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you for all your support. And following up on what you said, I get more out of this program than I give. I just watch those videos and my eyes fill up with tears, and I just think, wow, this is so great. Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
If anybody wants to come to Monterrey, my house will fit you. Well, not if you all come, obviously, but you are very welcome in the future.
I see that Richard has I don't know if he has audio contact or not. Apparently not. His name is there.
Hi, Richard.
Yeah, well, I think he may be able to hear, but he may not be able to speak. But anyway, it was real good to see you and be with you, and come by soon as you can.
We have the border closed. We are not allowed to cross the border. Well, by car, but as soon as they open.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
I'm gonna go wherever I can go.
Yeah.
Well, Susan, thank you so much for coming in, and I'm glad that you didn't have to risk the travel. And so it was wonderful to see you and wonderful to hear from you today.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you for all of you for all the support. And yes, whatever, Zoom is kind of easy for distance communication.
Okay.
Well, if there's nothing else, then thanks everybody. And Susan, God bless and good luck with all of your future things, and we will be in touch.
Thank you.
Thanks, Justin.
Bye-bye, y'all.